Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have my good friend Chloe back in the house. She's with me all the time. If you follow my social media, you've probably seen our trips together. We might even have an announcement coming soon, so stay tuned for that. But today I'm taking her a little darker. So what we did is she was blonde. We finally got her there. I told her it was going to be damaging. She used to have all kinds of permanent color and bands from the last salon she used to work at. It was ugly. So I ended up taking her blonde. We got her there. And then she wanted to go a little darker. And we did a foil conversion, and today I'm gonna do something similar, but something I don't do all the time. I'm doing a traditional low light, which is a regular highlight stitch, to give more dimension. We're doing this full highlight as you see. I'm doing this already after I foiled her. And then I'm gonna do something I don't like to do and put permanent color as a paint in between all the foils, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. If this is something you wanna watch, then keep watching. So I want to show you guys something I do that I never shared before, I don't think. I use 10 volume with Shades EQ. Now Shades EQ has a processing solution that's water-like, and it's called the gloss. This is under 10 volume. I think it's like 5, I'm not sure, don't hold me to that, but it's definitely a low developer. 10 volume is still going to keep it a demi-permanent, just like their creams, but it's just going to make it so that it sticks a little bit better. Because Shades tends to fade really easy since it's so translucent. So this will just let it stick to the hair a little better, but when we want to go lighter in the future or do anything, it will come right out with no problem and very easy still. So I think I'm going to do 4N, 4NB, because I want to just add a little bit of depth. So 4N is chicory, and 4NB, which I love, this is maple. So just a little darker for the low lighting, but like I said, we're going to have a lot of dimension today. Usually I like to do baby lights, you guys know that about me. But today we're going to switch it up because I want more dimensional look. We're going to do mostly 4N. Do 20, and then 6 grams only of NB. When you fill, you don't need that much. I want most of it to be at N, but we need to add that little bit of natural beige in there just so it fills the hair, because if you don't, she's still lighter and it can go green. So where I usually use the processing solution, I'm going to use 10 volume, 30 to 30, 1 to 1, and this will just get it a little bit more hold. I never mix too much at first. You always want to mix more later. I've been loving these paint brushes lately. I have Pretty Little Ombre one right here today I'll use. And Framar has some that I've been loving for even highlighting because I don't balayage. These are great when you want to get like a lot of product on there and do it quicker. I'm actually waiting to get an order from Framar. I've been falling in love with their foils again. I haven't used them in so long. It's like, wow, you miss how good they are. It still has a gel-like consistency. And of course I wore a white sweatshirt anytime I'm doing color. So, alright guys, this is mixed up. I'm gonna go section her off and we're gonna go get ready. Okay guys, so I'm doing a regular stitch today. No, we're not wearing masks. This is my good friend. And I want to show you guys, I rarely do regular highlights while we're doing low lights. But just because I'm doing regular stitch doesn't mean I have to do a large amount of hair inside the foil. That's such a big misconception. So this is how big I usually would take for her for a baby light. When you're doing a highlight and you want more definition, you go in and you go up and down like the dip and dive, Jessie calls it, from Jay-Z Styles. I heard her say that. And it gives us more of a traditional highlight, which will leave more piecey look. So we have more dimension. Since she loves this tone, I don't want to get rid of too much of it. With my baby light, I usually go in and I do it like this, up against the scalp. And that will keep it closer together, as you see. But what dictates the look is the amount of hair in the subsection that's left in between. Now some people will go in and say they want to do a real Rudy look or a real dimensional look. They could take bigger sections like this, but just because you're taking bigger amounts of hair does not mean you have to go in and go like this and weave out of that big amount of hair, because of something this thick, it's going to not process correctly if you're using bleach. You still want to have small sections. We're doing low light, so we could do this and get away, but I find it has saturation issues. So if I were to do this and I wanted more dimension, less foils, I would go in and I would still baby light or regular highlight, and then put this small amount of hair still in the foil, and this would be left out, meaning there would be more dimension. I hope that makes sense. So with her, I still am packing them in like baby lights, but I'm doing a bigger traditional stitch. I go up and down the dip and dive, because I want more definition, if that makes sense. And you can see this stitch is way bigger than my normal. It's still not a large amount of hair in the foil, if that makes sense. So it's easier to saturate. And another thing I noticed is the smaller your sections are with baby lighting or baby low lighting, the better, or even regular highlighting, as long as you have small sections, the better the saturation, and you don't have to go over it a million times. It actually takes quicker. So I'm going to continue working my way through her hair, packing in a full head of low lights. How about these Frame Art tropical foils? How beautiful are they? We're almost at the top of this section. I'll split this into two. Chloe has a lot of density in her hair. She has fine hair, but a lot of it. All right, now we're gonna move on.
Eyes glow like two fires, movement so graceful. Wildcat in the jungle with dangerous claws. Movement she anticipates, a sight is set on her prey. Like stars in the darkest night, crystallize, fascinate. If you wanna stay alive, if you don't wanna be her prey, don't stand in her way. Run, run, run away. Crystallize, 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 watching her prey. Crystallize, 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 fascinate.
She anticipates no chance if you become prey. Two stars in the darkest night, her crystallized fascinate. Her movements she feels, your heartbeat and animal fear. Her beauty is unreal, just be feet out of here.
If you wanna stay alive, if you don't wanna be her prey, don't stand in her way. Run, run, run away. Crystallize, 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 watching her prey. Crystallize, 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 fascinate.
Alright guys, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up her permanent color concoction. And usually you guys know I changed over to Goldwell Top Chic for my gray coverage. And now it's going to be my permanent line for everything. But I do have some Joico left over for non-double pigments, like regular ends and stuff. She doesn't have gray, so I don't want to put a double pigment because it will be too much pigment and look darker. So I'm going to go in with a 5. And what I'm going to do for today, because Chloe does have some lighter pieces, but what I'm gonna do is add a little bit of warmth just so we're sure that it's not gonna go green or do anything weird. So I'm gonna use Joico Lumishine permanent line. This is 5N, regular 5N. I have a whole bunch of these regular ends left. So we're gonna pop this bad boy open. Like I said, I am using all Goldwell permanent lines from now on. I just have some of these left. And I always love Joico. This is my go-to line for permanent for a long time. It's so creamy. And I'm gonna do about 40 grams of this. 42, close enough. Actually, let's just do the whole tube. So That's 54. And then I'm going to use Lumishine's 5NWB. Now, if you guys follow me for a while, you know I love the NWBs in Joico. And I'm gonna do only 16 grams of this and bring it up to 70. That's all you need to fill. We probably didn't need that much. And it will make her warm. We're gonna have a little extra warmth because anytime you bump it with 20 volume, because we're gonna bump her natural a little bit, it's going to warm up. But I'm going to go back down and shadow everything so that it all is beautiful and cooled down to my liking. You guys know I love coolness on the base. And I'm going to be mixing this with 20 volume. So 70 to 70 is 140. And the 20 volume, it will lift a little bit, and I want it to, like one level. And that will also cover better. See, I could have done a demi-permanent, but Chloe wants more, what's the word I'm looking for? She wants more of like an evened out tone, and demi-permanents are only stains really. Permanent color will actually go in there and it will make it look more solid, where demi-permanents would fade out and leave lighter spots as time went on, and we don't want that. So, look how creamy Joico is though. I love the consistency of this. Who knows, I might end up staying and going back to Joico. It's good to have different tools in your arsenal. They do have a great texture of their color, but I do love Gold Wall Top Cheek. It covers so well. Alright guys, so I mixed this up. I should take my sweatshirt off, but I'm gonna leave it on. So far I haven't stained it. I'll be right back. Keep watching. If you guys look closely, you can see, I don't know if it can pick up on the camera yet, you can see the warmth. Tilt your head a little to an inch to the right. You can see that warmth right there. Right there, you see it? Because I used 20 volume and I bumped her base a little bit. So, what I'm doing now is I'm going back. We don't really need to do a root shadow for color's sake, but I'm doing it. And I'm gonna drag it down to like here, just to blur any lines. It looks scary and dark, but if you look closely, you can still see the dimension and the lighter pieces. I did a chunkier stitch on her than my normal baby lights. It was a regular traditional low light. And now, we don't like money pieces on her. She doesn't like them, so we eliminated that. And now I'm just going through and bringing it down about 3 inches. And then we're gonna sit her back and apply her all over color. Let it sit for like 5 minutes. And this is mostly, you guys always see me do rooting with N's and NAs. And I'm using Shades of Q, of course. Whatever level, it doesn't matter. I always use N's with a drop of NA. With her, I did more than half of this for NA. And then, I think it's 20 grams for NA and 10 grams only of 4N. Because I need that NA in there to cool down the bumped base of that underlying pigment that's trying to push through for level 5. So, permanent color always lifts a little bit, even if you're only using 10 volume to deposit only, and you're always gonna have that warmth that you don't want, and that's why I like doing this. But when she comes in from now on, we'll bump her base with the 5N, because she's a natural level 4, and we use 20 volume. And I did put a little bit of 5NWB in there, just a couple grams, which is also why it's a little warm, just because I didn't want to hit anything light and have it risk going blonde or green. So I'm using my Big Daddy brush because I'm bringing it down pretty far and just going through. And you could tell how strong the NAs are by Redken. Look closely at her hair, you'll see how blue it is.
Eyes glow like two fires, movement so graceful. Wildcat in the jungle with dangerous claws. Movement she anticipates, a sight is set on her prey. Like stars in the darkest night, crystallize, fascinate.
Alright guys, so now I'm rinsing off the Olaplex number 2 that was on the ends for a treatment, because I want this toner to stuff up. I'm going to leave the root toner on, the root smudge. At this point we can call it a root color. And then I'm going to take my toner. This is 6GB, 7NW, 6 ABN and 7P. The ABNs, you guys, if you haven't tried them, they're pretty new. They're ash browns, and oh my god, I love them. They have a 2, a 4, and a 6. I don't do a lot of dark colors, but I'm telling you, I'm thinking about doing it to myself in the future because it's that ash brown, like so nice, no warmth. You guys know I love cool on myself, and I've been having a lot of great results. Like, look at how blue and green, and it's gonna be such a nice ashy brown.
If you wanna stay alive, if you don't wanna be her prey, don't stand in her way. Run, run, run away. Crystallize, 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 watching her prey. Crystallize, 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 fascinate.
Alright guys, we are done with her hair and she's brunette. We love it. I'm gonna spin her around real quick. Look at this and look at the shine. It sucks because it's nighttime and I like the ring light, but it's not the same. You can see the more dimensional pieces. I'm gonna have her take pictures tomorrow and send them to me, or when I see her this weekend, and show you guys really what it looks like. Look how beautiful. That is so gorgeous, dimensional, but it's brunette, a lot of shine. We cut off 2.5 inches, and it feels immaculate. I think that's how you say it. Mm-hmm. We're obsessed with it.
Obsessed.
It looks so good. You heard her? She's obsessed. And this feels like Chloe to me. So we did it the smart way. Last time we took her, we have another video, I'll link it down below. We took her like to a blonde because she was so blonde, and then it filled it a little bit better. And then now it held very well, and now she's a full brunette. We did leave those level 6, 7 pieces throughout, but because of me doing a thicker stitch, like a traditional highlight, but low light, it gave her tons of dimension, but you can see like, it's beautiful, no two ways about it. We're in love with it. So let me know down below what you think, and stay tuned because in a couple months, me and Chloe have an announcement coming. So get used to seeing this face. And thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave video ideas. I'm posting 3 times a week now. Don't mind my shiny face. We've been working in here, it's hot. And it's about 10 o'clock, we gotta go. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and as always, so long for now.
Bye.
I almost forgot what I was gonna say. I was like, wait, what do I usually say?